I think he looks back at his Fnatic days, right? Being able to take the international stage. He's got to lead this thruster now to success, and he's only got to do it by winning another map here. And it could be Bind, their own map pick.
Hey, and Bind was, I was questioning if it was the ace in the sleeve of Carbine Core. We haven't seen them on this map quite yet, and again, fighting forward here towards A short.
Yep, very much a strong fight here from Carbine Core, placing quite a lot of players there. But still, it's subsided. Cena dead, Martin low. And Carbine Core look to defend quite an onslaught onto this A site, FUT aggressing little by little. But the Poison Cloud is enough to keep them at bay for now.
Just enough. I mean, they don't have much more information across the map here on the side of FUT, just maintaining the short control, but lack of presence from Carbine Core. They're reading into this hit back towards this A side.
Ooh, Martin is low, and he's close to this. And it's going to be a double-sided approach from Showers as well as Short. Still, Nare. No, well, Martin in the most difficult of positions. As Wingman heads towards the site to put that spike down, Martin finds a nice shot onto Mr. Fallen, makes himself useful before he drops. 3 versus 4, FUT on the back seat. Carbine Corp, they're taking on some momentum from the previous round, but can they secure this? There are a lot of players that are low, could be simple pickings without the need of headshots. And it's Lamps that Carbine Corp will be pushing together. 3, 1 coming out from heaven, and it's Nare that does it all by himself. He doesn't need friends. He can do it by himself. No worries at all. Out of captain. He saved the game for FUT a couple of times the previous map, but for now it's Carbine Corp with round number 1 going their way as they did the map before.
Great read from Carbine Core into the pistol round. FUT, I think they did make a little bit of noise back still towards that A short, but to pull those rotations so early from that B side after none of them were able to find any of that information. Taking a peek over towards this replay. I'm excited to see what Carbine Core do here with the double duelist. I think looking towards Martin on that Yoru, Nare on the Raze, as well as we head into a little technical pause. But it's gonna be fun things. I mean, the fact that you see a lot of synergy, I think, coming out from them when they are playing that double duelist, they're ensuring that the double dive pays off very well. And Martin, we've seen his Yoru. It's pretty good.
I mean, I think this is a contrast to what we saw from the end of the previous map, right? Because prior, you know, everything got too intense, everything got too difficult. Everyone was forced to play Valorant from the get-go, right? You know, it doesn't matter what your setups are. It all gets a little bit too intense in those moments. But now, they've taken a few minutes to rest, right? They've taken themselves some time after the map win from Carbine Core. They've been able to look back, talk with them a little bit more intensely. The same could be said for FUT here. It's been a rough road for FUT on the other hand, because they are having to overcome a loss that they really strongly fought for, and a loss that I don't know if they could afford to lose. We're talking about Lotus, their own map pick, where they tend to found success, right? FUT is the team that, you know, makes Lotus their home, not Ascent, and that's what differs them from other Turkish teams. So for them to lose it straight out of the bat, I think is quite mentally draining. It's good to see that Ada Captain has got some sort of joy in him, or at least the Shark is giving it to him. But
I don't know if I would call what we just saw on camera
it's
joy.
like comfort, if you will.
No, for sure. I mean, everyone loves their little plushies. Absolutely. Bring a little bit of home with you up onto the stage, right? But I think what's interesting too is looking at the fact that we haven't seen Carbine Core on Bind. It hasn't been a map that they've been banning out. It's just one that their opponents have typically been banning. We haven't had the opportunity to really see them on this, and talking about the fact that it was that kind of surprise factor. What kind of composition were we going to see coming out from them? I think the double duelist, or like, typically I think it's been more of the double initiator and double controller compositions that we've seen coming out from most teams on Bind, but that surprise factor here for Carbine Core. Meanwhile, FUT, we've seen them on Bind before. That was that 10-13 loss up against Team Heretics, and even though it was close, it was a sloppy game, if we're going to be quite honest.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of here. Hey, Sharky, nice. You took him away from Ada Captain, though. That's not fair. Give it back. Give it back. Hey, now he's happy, look! As long as he's got Sharky with him, no worries at all. But we have received word, the reason of this tech timeout is there's some audio issues that are being looked into now, and I'm actually glad it's audio issues because anything else could have taken longer, but these are the kinds of things that can be fixed up fairly quickly, and we're hoping to jump into it fairly soon. But you're right, it's one of these situations where you need to redeem yourself not only in remaining in this tournament, but from your previous performances. You've set the bar high. You know you can compete at an international level. Now FUT need to do the same here. At least get close to it, because they've set the bar so high.
Yeah.
It's down to them to make sure they can meet those expectations.
Especially with YetaJ and CNED being brought in again. Previous world-class champion in CNED, and then the star rookie of YetaJ. I don't think that they haven't let us down though.
No. It's like putting an electric engine into an 80s muscle car, right? It's like you've definitely put two strong aspects from two different eras, but it's time to see if you can actually put them to test, put them to work. And it's a difficult task to do.
Absolutely is. But as we head again into this, Narrate's going to find that first blood. Looks like FUT are going to continue to try and pressure over towards short, close the gap there, and find that Lamp's control thanks to that toxic screen. But regardless, again, the players I think that we're really looking towards here on the side of FUT to make those differences are going to be Captain, are going to be YetaJ in these situations.
I mean, everyone's looking at Captain, especially after the previous game. Set the expectation so high of what to expect from him. But we want to see more from CNED as well. I think that's the big highlight of this one, as they look to push past Lamps with a flash of their teammate. They aggress forwards, but they only are able to find one. Narrate looking to go right after him. Paint shots can do a lot of damage here, but they all manage to run away in time. The snake bite will deter any further movement in their direction. It's still 4 versus 4, and the fact FUT are finding damage with pistols is so scary. Cracks with a double. They might get themselves a second round here. Martin upgrades. Vandal now in his hands, but Cracks is destroying them. One by one, they drop like flies in the sky. And Shin alone. All of the players alone. There is a world where he can spray upon them, but he doesn't have that info, maybe.
No, especially losing on that back site control to have Ada pick up the Vandal as well. Done and dusted here, the anti-eco of Carmine Core, but
crazy.
Already liking what we're seeing. Of course, it was a hero play coming out from Cracks, splitting heads there with the Sheriff and laying down the law. However, we're also seeing, again, a slight change in the composition of FUT. Not as drastic on Lotus, where they swapped out 3 of those agents, but only the duelist there for CNED. Going to be back on this Raze pick, where previously he was playing the Neon on Lotus. He had previously played that Yoru. And while he did perform, I found that there were issues with a lot of that spacing, with the team trying to catch up to him and just those hero isolated plays.
So they've recognized there's something that can be optimized here, right? But why haven't they put them on a jet? I mean, that's a question I'm throwing out there. I want to see Turkish Jet, because that's where Turkish Jet got its name from. CNED was the first person to put that out there.
However, Jet, since CNED was that Jet player in the server, has changed so much within her kits in that kind of regard, where you can't be as unpunished as he was used to in holding a lot of those angles and diving in those situations, having to have a bit more
finesse.
Yeah, finesse in a sense, or just intent behind a lot of that utility usage.
Need to be clear with it, and CNED dropping to other agents for now. We'll have to make do, but for this particular round, FUT have got superior firepower, and for now, it's equally trading out for them. Outlawing Mr. Fallen, knowing there's not much armor on the others, is a one-shot. Not too bad, not too shabby. Bit of a stack here. 2 different elevations, but the disease spots them both. They're in trouble. They try and close up the gap with the classics. Martin Sheriff does find a head, but that's a 1 for 3 in the players' remaining score, and FUT look to close things out without issues. Now, Magnum, look, the IGL won't live long enough to say anything else. That's 2 for FUT, 1 for Carmine Core, and it's the best start FUT could have hoped for after they lost the pistol.
I mean, losing out the pistol to just be able to take it straight away into that anti-eco of Carmine Core and flipping the script of what you would expect in these first 3 rounds of the map. Now, Carmine Core, at the very least, they're cycling into these weapons here. So you're looking also eyes towards Narrate, a player that honestly we cannot say enough about, hailing all the way from North America, being that regional transfer here within EMEA. He's 1 away from that showstopper into this round.
Regional pride getting to you, I think, Ash, but look at Carmine Core destroying FUT.
And yeah, that aggression off of Showers was the best thing they could have done, because they've instantly found themselves in a big lead, 5 versus 3. But FUT don't want to ease the pressure just yet. Might want to take advantage of the 2 players isolated here on this A site. But Tamaji might have got their number. Drops back as he does retrieve a bullet to his elbow. And with that, that's enough of that fight. So FUT given some space for the A side.
Not looking to get flooded into lamps. No. A play that we've seen from FUT before, playing the numbers advantage, recharging that health here to play numbers into the post plant. And YetaJ's getting the spike down now.
Adacaptan doubles up though, and this could allow FUT to find a way back in as it's a 2 versus 3. All they need to do is find another pick before they drop, but Nare is so good for it. The spike is heading towards the B site. He was hoping that he could go on the plant, but because there is no plant, no one is taking the TP. Sneaky YetaJ, but yeah, you've given them time to rotate, so I don't think you're getting a plant either, which puts KCORPS in pole position this round.
I mean, might get the plant, but won't have much time afterwards.
He's trying to see if he can isolate anyone, but KCORPS are too clever than that. They're known for their stacks, and they'll continue to do so, especially when they've got the numbers advantage.
Spike planted.
Discipline necessary here, and for YetaJ.
Points at task, YetaJ! The Wonderkid strikes again! 3 in the board for FUT! That's an incredible clutch!
A Red Bull clutch coming out here for FUT. YetaJ just lining them up one by one. They were going for the triple swing as well, but the off-angle king.
I need a second to take that in. Let's look at that. He's playing A maps, dude. This is absolutely incredible. And he's taking it in. He's enjoying it. He's got to at this point. And yes, that has put Zacianeng to silence.
Stoic faces.
Those things tend to do that. You are 1v3. You were never meant to win that. But YetaJ shows that he's not normally. Check him PC.
Man. Tense up there for KC now. Anti-eco destroyed, and now back onto this pistol by Sure, Marshall for narrate, but
shot my wingman right there.
Not much you can do other than hope to try and clean up alongside those shares, or vice versa. Slower plays here from FUT, knowing
I got the spike.
that KCORPS on these double duelist compositions do have that tendency to be a bit more aggressive, especially into the eco rounds. Playing fully together here on the side of FUT, not looking to let any of these weapons go away for free.
You know, the last time we saw an a Thrifty being won out from one team, the other one came back to win it again, so it was a topsy-turvy. Now, I don't think KCORPS are in the same position to do so, because they definitely need a pick, and the fact that Adacaptan shoots so quickly and doesn't give a chance to Magnum to even react, they won't be given such a benefit. Narrate telegraphed. And it's a game of whack-a-mole for the side of FUT. They do not drop a play. It's an Andalucia flawless, giving them quite an exacerbated lead. 3 rounds of difference now for the Turkish side.
4-1. Weapons back into the hands of KCORPS this time around. You do have that dimensional drift available. We've seen Martin use it for that scouting for the remainder of the team. And they don't necessarily just follow up straight up with that dimensional drift, where you see maybe some teams just looking for an exact set play based off that information. But instead, they'll tend to use it to see, okay, how many players are actually here, and make the decision on, okay, do we take that rotation to the other site, or is it worth fighting forward on?
Well, Thrash is going to go right after Martin, but he's able to put it to its grave before it has a chance to concuss him up. But still, does throw his clone in and wants to go for another bite. He doesn't use his dimensional drift straight away, instead thinks better of it, as FUT have completely flooded this area. But now have started to spread out across the map. You can slowly see Zenit moving towards this B site, trying to figure out what the setup looks like there for KC.
I mean, stall potential here in the hands of Tamazi, playing towards backside here. Proxy screen to cover both Hookah and towards Garden. The snake bite poised and ready.
Oh my
but the hog up, and Ada takes his head off.
But Adacaptan is absolutely insane with the rifle. And he's just put FUT in pole position for yet another time. One stuck in TP. Magnum is questioning his decision here. YetaJ! He's bullying them! He's a newcomer and he gets to do that. Now that's a statement piece. 5-1, FUT lost their own map pick, but they're here to show KCORPS who's boss.
So much comfort, clinical coming out from FUT right now. KCORPS, we've seen ideas coming out from them. They're trying to fight a little bit more forward, and deny that space, but you know, FUT, they're not afraid to make that rotation off. They're not going to push the issue. And a timeout now to be called by KCORPS just to talk about, okay, what's going wrong here on the defense.
You've got to take a timeout here. You really do. Like, how can you lose all these rounds one by one? The stern talking to are required, and I'm sure Magnum is hearing it all right now, but it's all rolling in his head. He's trying to process it, but he needs to keep that head clear to be able to lead this team to another map victory. The job isn't done. Yes, they've won an insane map #1 on Lotus, 20-18. It went so far in that particular map, but this is Bind, their own map pick. There's a reason behind their pick here, and they can't afford to lose rounds that were meant to be theirs.
Absolutely not. Saving grace, though, Mr. Fallen did end up using that thrash into the last round just to find as much information as they need. That's why the rotation came in there for FUT, to try and collapse over towards Tomazee. And then Ada Captain just hits an insane shot as he's just like hopping up, just trying to jiggle peek that check over towards Suka. He's been on the ball today.
Oh, he has.
Every day, in fact.
He owns the ball. He is the ball. Don't know what that means.
I don't know what that. I'm gonna roll away from that one. But now eco round coming in here for KCORPS. Of course, the timeout's not meant to be for this round. They're gonna be looking towards the next buy that they have coming up. But right now, FUT, they're comfortable in knowing that if things go as according to plan right now, they should comfortably sit 6-1 in theory, knowing that they're guaranteed at least an even half. And every round from then is just bonus.
For sure.
For KCORPS, though, they need something momentous to come back into this.
It's a step-by-step game, isn't it? And I don't think this is the round for it, although we've seen FUT pull these off. KCORPS not quite in the same headspace. But they made the right call here. Look at the stack on this A site, and that's exactly where FUT are setting up to push.
Fair enough. 2 flashes still in the hands of Cracks for this entry towards site.
One way keeping them at bay for now, but the flash through it is going to allow the push to come forwards. The jump and hop from Zenit to the backline is good, but you need to be careful. It's just dangerous Zenit behind you. And that puts Magnum, who's on an island elsewhere on the map, to do it all himself. But it's just the Sheriff, it's just that Eco, his team got deleted in a fraction of a moment. And even if the flash is thrown, I don't know exactly where he is. Wingman helps out, says hello, gives a hug. Not exactly the hug Magnum really needs right now. He's baiting us. He's trying to get a kill, find a different angle to at least, you know, get an advantage on one of these positions. But he's gone all the way around. It might be Ada Captain. The only one that hasn't gone for the chase might be the one to get the kill. No, he runs back. Never mind. So, yeah. Ooh. He's playing with us.
I mean, it's
no one gets the kill. All right, no one gets the kill. But it is a FUT round, and it just increases that lead even more.
It's just a game of cat and mouse there. Magnum trying to deny any ult orbs over towards the side of FUT, who, I mean, sure, he could have technically tried to gone for some picks there, but it really wouldn't have made a difference with the economy that FUT have amassed for themselves. Like, they are looking healthy down in that savings bank, especially with 5 rounds left into the half. Can probably very comfortably buy into most.
Did you just watch a replay of someone buying a gun? I mean, was there something highlighted there? Never mind. Doesn't matter. For a second, I thought there was some sort of a meaning behind it I didn't quite grasp. But still, operator for Martin.
Not able to TP out, though. So committed to this angle here towards Showers. No one's going to take a peek on the side of FUT. Very passive play just to see if KCORPS elect to push for a bit more space. You can see Martin is creeping up.
And Martin collects it. And for the first time in a while, KCORPS have got first blood.
He waited for the timing, too, for that 0 point to just end up running out so he could actually get that teleport down. And now Tomazee to use the Viper's Pit here. Deny the drop in that push over from Garden. Forcing FUT to fall back over towards that A site. Again, funneling them towards that operator in the hands of Martin.
But the stampede from FUT so far has been good. Double blast pack still available for Cena, and now the captain has found himself on enemy lines.
They know.
They do know, but it's bought enough time, right? KCORPS forced to vacate the area, and now the captain just drops back into sight. He's done his job. Dimensional drift coming out from Martin, though. He's pinging out where the opponent positioning is.
Oh, he sees all four.
He does, but how does his team use it? No one's nearby. Only one now coming in from short.
They're going to
Magnum
sandwich.
trying to save up with them. And here comes the clone as well to push. Showstopper enabled. It's CNEDs this time around as Samaji looks to drop back. He can't be comfortable pushing that one. And there's Shin able to avoid it. Do they have time to move in? Snakebite to their feet. KCORPS need to push through, but this lamp control is all too much. Martin finds a shot. Cracks in the madness. Not able to deliver. Up close and personal, it seems KCORPS are superior, and with 2 players alive, KCORPS will look to defuse. Already defused halfway. It's all required to be done. And finally, they end the streak that FUT collected.
Great retake protocol coming out from KCORPS off the back of the dimensional drift, especially with that teleport over coming out from Magnum to guarantee
hard word to say.
the sandwich retake. Okay, thank you.
I've had a few word rumbles, but yeah, see?
You're not meant to expose us on stream like this. I don't know. We've already exposed us by doing it in the first place. But one thing though, we got to get a shorty counter on here from our
yes,
team.
we definitely should. We've had so many of these shorty moments, and I think it's because of all the chaos going on. It's in these close proximities, within smokes and stuff. A lot of shorties. And yeah, they have been playing the difference, but for the past 2 rounds, Martin is doing a lot with the operator.
I mean, cutting off these angles, being dynamic in his positioning, swapping from A towards B. Upper angle this time.
And as he smoke fades, he doesn't realize what's to the left. Mr. Falling does get one before he drops. And Martin repositions yet another time, and he's in the right moment to do it, but no, instead, with a fragment to his feet and Yeruje's bullets going in his direction, he's back to square one to Margie. That was crucial, because there's no more Viper's Pit here for Yeruje. FUT on the back seat. At a captain, he's done it before, and he'll try and do it again. Spike in hand, but it's dropped to the floor. Grax is insane. A one-on-one that he will win. Perseverance for Krax, and 7 on the board for FUT.
A tough round there to swallow for KCORPS. Krax doing it all for FUT, maintaining that momentum. KC yet to string any rounds together. These 2 rounds piece by piece. The pistol and that last retake that we had just seen, yet to find themselves in a comfortable position, constantly back and forth between these saves and these buys. No room to work with.
I know during the offseason, FUT got a massive upgrade package in the likes of Yeruje and Cena, but it's the 3 retained players that are topping the charts here for FUT in this game. Absolutely crazy stuff brought out by them. And now the captain gets first blood, but he's quickly traded, and the fact that KCORPS is with Sheriff, not the best situation. Paranoia, good for the captain, so keeps himself alive, but he's with low health, so thinks better of it.
Oh, great paranoia to push ZNet off the angle. It actually forces Ada Captain to actually commit to that teleport that he was initially trying to fake. And this spike all the way towards this A site. Tamazi alone towards heaven. Again, it is a go around here for KCORPS. So expectation for FUT to make this clean.
Yeah, Cena showing his ground, getting one onto Martin. Shin thinking a second time before he goes and challenges that corner. And a live CNED is a dangerous CNED. You have to avoid, and that just keeps FUT in the lead. Now, the first half we saw in Lotus, it was a 6-6. A completely different story than what we're seeing right now. It went toe-to-toe.
That was also with KCORPS starting off hot off the gate. They were 4-1 to start on Lotus as well. But coming back with a vengeance with how close that overtime was, they're driven to take this map, to take it to a 3rd. Of course, I know early days to be talking about that, but it is 7-2 to be fair, and KCORPS still yet to find that opening here on defense. Of course, at least you can say they did take the opportunity to deny any chance of Cracks cycling into the null command off the end of that round. But do they fight forward for these orbs? Do they decide to look for the extremities here on the defense to try and deny that KO's ultimate?
And it's got to be said, FUT are playing off of no information here. KCORPS haven't played bind so far, right? And it's the opposite for KCORPS. They could definitely look into FUT. Yes, they've been changes, visibly, and adaptations because they are playing against KCORPS. But it seems that KCORPS can't take it to their advantage coming in. without anything to show for it earlier on.
I mean, FUT are so good with their early presence that they show to just force so much early utility outside of KCORPS. Have the chance to delay nearly as much, even starving them of information, forcing some of that utility coming out from Magnum.
Well, off the Thrasher, they're going to be start pushing forwards onto this B site, and you can see how KCORPS are scared of this, looking to go for a retake very similar to what we saw on Lotus. Maybe that's what works out for them.
They do have that dimensional drift and the showstopper to work with here for the duelists.
So they're focusing on those ultimates to make the difference for KCORPS here. FUT maybe flashed up. Dimensional drift used, and so is a showstopper. So far, so good for KCORPS, but the rest of the players have dispersed, moved into Elbow. Martin doesn't care to use a flash as he exits the dimensional drift, gets one before he drops, but he's done what it was necessary, finds the information. Yenajay's got an upper angle, and he's so darn dangerous, but it's not dangerous enough. 2 ultimates, really important, and they put KCORPS right back into winning ways.
They needed this too, especially to win with at least some numbers left here on the side of KCORPS. The fact that they have the 3 rifles to carry into the last round of this half. Going to be likely a light shield buy coming out from the remaining players of the team. Just narrate, going to be missing out on that a little bit. And with the last few rounds, both sides have used their ultimates. We're not really going to see any opportunity to cycle any of these up into this round. If anything, maybe that Viper's pick coming out from Tamazi, but the way things have been swinging, I feel like he has been being caught out the most on an island.
Look how aggressive they're actually going. This is Nari guessing, pushing forwards. He does pay for it for his life, but how much information do you really gain off of it? I think it's more about the space that KC have gathered, but it's really a push into the TP, which I believe was heard.
The aggressive look. He pushes FUT back, but again, they're going to go and re-clear this space. Narrate still so close. Playing this off angle.
Martin
cutting through.
Oh, he may have revealed himself, and that's going to be his demise. Magnum tries to trade it back, but it's FUT that find the advantage, the upper hand, and this A site take.
Then you've only got the controllers left here for the retake on the side of KCORPS. Sure. Snake bite to try and divvy up FUT.
What can you do, really, though? Samaji looks to lead the charge. They're actually thinking about it.
I mean, it's last round.
Of course, it is the last round. You're right. At a captain, back of lamps. Yenajay on another end. It's so difficult to cover all these corners. It's Yenajay to come out on top when Shin tries to go for something aggressive with his TP. Oh, the mosh pit is going to make it absolutely impossible here from Tamaji. And he definitely can't cover up against them all. It's smoked off. All he can do is hope that he won't get shot down as the smoke deteriorates. That's 9-3 for FUT. A really good start comparing it to the previous map. The best start I believe they could hope for.
Not even comparing it to the previous map, but to the previous time that they played Bind up against, I believe that was Giant X. So looking towards the difference here for FUT, they look much more comfortable, a lot cleaner. The spacing has been better here. I think the adjustments with, honestly, even just putting CNET onto that raise has looked really good. Sure, he's not putting out the numbers right now, but he is able to find that space, and the trades coming in are what's important on the FUT side.
But now KCORPS on the attack. It's hard to say how this one is going to go for them. I think it's just the old story to be repeated. The pistol, the best way for them to start this retake. If they lose it, I fear that we are going to a third map, or at least KCORPS can fear that, as FUT will be happy with the opportunity that would be given for them to potentially win off this series. But the push does come through. It's heard, it's seen, or at least from behind the flashes. Nare and Mr. Fallen trade back, and with Mr. Fallen blind as a bat, he'll be dropping like one as well. And KCORPS, full access to the site. Yenajay, he's sneaky from behind, and he's able to find one. They know exactly where he is, so he's buying a lot of space for his team to start moving in from. And a captain shows his presence. It's a balance of information that needs to be given. And CNED can push through elbow. That's exactly where KCORPS are looking. 2 versus 3. FUT need to start finding kills. Both 2 players are low, and one was taken down.
They're split up.
Tamaji, behind the smoke. And he's so close to Ada Captain, he can smell him, but only now can see him. And it's Ada Captain to come out on top. Magnum is low. All he has to do is stop this plant, this defuse from happening. But Yenajay aggressing into his face in an aggressive manner. It's going to have to be the defuse, and FUT win the second pistol of the series.
KCORPS needed this pistol round. Double digits here for FUT. makes it that much harder for Karmine Corp to find themselves back into map 2. And not even just as far as what the scoreline is needing a clean pistol to mentally make the comeback into this game when FUT have been looking so good.
Oh, look at that energy.
Yeah. It's contagious there for the team. Oh, meanwhile, Martine's being left hanging by Magnum on the side.
Oh no. Come on, fist. There we go. Fist bump. Successful. Check mark.
Still need the vibes.
Yeah, gotta have the vibes, especially when you're so far behind. It's the only thing you can have it in your favor. Start throwing things back at them.
Stinger Force.
It is indeed. Desperate measures.
I mean, you have to when you're 10-3.
Flash coming through. TP as well from Martine. It's onto the site. Cracks with the first shot. The spike will be successful, but there's so much thrown at them. Shin won't live for long for dismantling them one by one, overwhelming them with everything they had, and with Karmine Corp forcing that, they've got nothing for the next either.
That's just about match. FUT running a clinic here with an Andalusia flawless on the side of the Turkish squad. This is terrifying because Karmine Corp, it's the right call. You have to force in that situation when that's the closest that you're going to be as far as equalizing in those weapons, trying to give a great fight and be able to contest head to head. But you also have to win those because now, sure, forced into another force.
But this time, the buy looks similar on both sides. We have to be fair, but there's pressure on Karmine Corp, a lot of it. We're talking about, I can't do the maths, 8 rounds in a row.
The difference is, too, if FUT lose this, they still have money to buy.
They do, indeed. That is a big caveat. So not only do Karmine Corp need to win this, they need to win it cleanly. And not only they need to win this round, they need to win 7 rounds after that to find 11 rounds and match the score FUT.
Cool one way that we saw it being thrown there in towards Showers, though, to give Martine that space to find the orb for the dimensional drift. But team, still running that default, walking over towards that B side right now. Starved of information, FUT opt to send out Wingman to do a little bit of scouting, but a nice tuck from Martine dodges it.
Yeah, it's a spread out approach here from Karmine Corp. Hoping that FUT misstep. The FUT are doing none of that.
I mean, that's the other thing, just trying to draw out this utility from FUT, right? An absolute must, because they've been able to just throw all of these flashes into those retakes.
Now, from the dagger, I believe they only spotted out Samaji. So I don't think they'll expect 3 players pushing past, but the fact that Nare has aggressed onto the site, now the alarm bells will sign. Thrasher being enabled, but it's Martine's first shot to come off forward, so Karmine Corp playing off of an advantage. Playing into lamps as well, with a player as a caveat into Showers. Smoked off though, he'll have to come in later into this round, awaiting for the team to collapse upon them first. Into the smoke, and it's Martine to win it. Crucial kill on the spike though, they're already diffused halfway, interrupted as utility is thrown their way. 2 versus 4, FUT. Not impossible given players alone, but they've got to find them quick as time is ticking. And a captain with the first one. Shin stopping Cned's life, and it does have to be defused. Nare will not let that happen. 2 players, 4 for KC, but they get the win nonetheless.
An absolute need here for Karmine Corp. 3 Bulldogs to carry over into the next round, and the rest of the team able to force up comfortably with some of those light shields. But looking into the replay, Martine finding so much value here with those 2 picks, opening up the round and making that retake that much more uncomfortable for FUT at the very least. A little bit of anger there. Not too happy on the FUT side with those player cams coming through in the coach cam. But
I need a drop.
KC needed that.
Time to jump.
They did. For sure. But as you said, FUT fully capable of putting arms in their hands. And again, a slow approach from KC to try and repeat what they did the previous round. They've got the dimensional drift up against the Thrasher of Mr. Fallen.
Got the TP out now. The pressure put over towards Showers again with that one way for the orb farming here on the side of KC. 3 stack from FUT. Typical defaults on the defense here on the FUT side. This poison orb, though, buys a lot of respect. Still gonna look to walk through it here.
Time to clear it out. Mosh pit, denying any of the other entries. So no one can follow up on this information. Crucially enough, well played by FUT. But can they deal with Martin finding himself into elbow? He'll be able to stop any of the other rotations by sending his decoy to the back end of it. Still, 4 versus 4 as Zenith gets traded out, and the rest of KC have garnered all the space they would have hoped for.
Sound baiting in that kind of sense. Martin back in.
Oh, he really is, but the flash doesn't pop in time before the smoke does deteriorate, which leaves KC at a disadvantage, unless Shin gets the pick here.
No, but that's rash. It found him.
Oh, they let Narrate to die. And now they're playing off of this advantage.
They need this pick on Mr.
Oh
Fallen.
my god! He wasn't
Go get him, buddy.
out in the cover, which means that Mr. Fallen was able to pick him up. And now to 1v2.
Safe plants, at the very least. But you have the whole kit here of cracks to work with.
Magnum has got skill, but it's the first time he's jumped into the IGLC this season. And with the Seekers, he's going to have to figure out how they both are going to be playing this. They know he's in lamps, and they'll go right after him. Bullet between the eyes, and that's FUT finding themselves on map points and putting them 1 away from Sunset.
I don't know what Karma and Core were doing there on that B site, going a bit too aggressive towards CT spawn, a hero play. I get it. At the same time, though, you had numbers. You were equal 4-4. You find yourselves in a disadvantage then when the match is so close. The frustration.
Yeah, it's a big difference between the reactions from these players.
Yeah. The juxtaposition and the attitude, the feelings that we're seeing on stage here from both teams.
FUT, on the other hand, must be really happy about this. Only 1 away, and I think KC have been struggling all this time, unable to find a thing. Now moving into the hookah area. They will find it open, but in the meantime, FUT trade some space themselves.
Yeah, they're fully walked out there towards B long, finding that fountain control. They hear this as well, since Mr. Fallen has stayed over towards Garden.
They've got to be curious where the players have gone, because never has this B site been completely open. Guiding Light spotting them out in long though.
Right now, they only know that it's Mr. Fallen over towards B long. Doesn't know about the other two players.
Look at Shin though, very far forward, but it's Magnum to get picked off early. FUT are playing things from the front, but can they continue? 3 players grouping up now towards CT, and it'll be a 3 versus 2 as soon as the smoke subsides. As soon as it does, it's FUT that comes out on top. KC can't do a thing. Disabled, stuck in place. And that's 13-4, the score as FUT close out map number 2. We're going to Sunset, baby.
What a juxtaposition between a 20 and 18 overtime on map 1 on Lotus. Now, a break here available though. Karma and Core, they need to regroup, reset mentally heading into our deciding